The significance of today's occasion is phenomenal. All right, and I'd like to just you to bear with me for a few minutes as I chart this journey, because it is indeed a journey. Special Olympics, for those who may not be aware, is sport for persons with intellectual disabilities. In every country's population, there are at least, statistics worldwide, globally has shown that at least 6 to 8% of the country's population has a form of disability. That then stands to reason that we have probably over 100,000 plus persons in Trinidad and Tobago that may be walking around in our communities with disabilities. Opportunities for persons with intellectual disabilities are far and they are sparse. Special Olympics brings to the fore the opportunity for those young persons to explore their fullest potential, to develop their fullest potential, using the mechanism of sport to drive that process. As all other athletes, we believe that sport is a mechanism that changes lives. It develops your character. It's a character building tool. And it's also a tool that can educate one and move one from one level of development to the next. So we use that tool as the mechanism to assist and to work with these lovely, beautiful young people and older persons, because Special Olympics does not only capture the child or the children population, but from age 0 to age infinity, you can participate in Special Olympics. So there's no age barrier to participate in Special Olympics. Over the years, we've been able to affect and record approximately 1,000 plus persons in Trinidad and Tobago. So it means that we are not where we need to be just yet. We are scratching the surface, if you want to look at it like that. But we've made significant steps to be able to bring Special Olympics or bring persons who participate in Special Olympics to that national level of representation. My organization is not a fly-by-night organization. It is not a second-class citizen, and I've been fighting and advocating for equity and equality of recognition amongst all other NSOs, because I absolutely believe that we serve a community of persons who need to be engaged, who need to be involved in sport and all of the downstream efforts that we have in Special Olympics. And there are a number of other programs, from character building programs, teaching our athletes to speak on their own behalf, because we have a program called the ALPS program, Athlete Leadership Program, where athletes represent themselves. So hopefully one day I won't be speaking on behalf of the athletes, and the athletes will be on the stage speaking and advocating for them. So Special Olympics is holistic. Special Olympics is holistic in nature, and it is really a passion of mine. I've been involved since the age of 18, and I'm not the youngest person in the room, right? I have some age under my belt, right? So I've been a volunteer for all of that time, because you don't get, as you correctly said, Chair, there's no payment for this work. This work is about passion. It's about commitment. It's about doing it because it is the right thing to do. All right? Special Olympics started 38 years ago, so we're in our 39th year of existence, and we are moving from strength to strength. And in the wake of our former chair, now deceased Norma James, she said in a board meeting many years ago, this organization has to move out of the car trunk. It has to move out of the car trunk. We cannot be managing this organization in someone's car trunk. And that's how the organization was managed for many years, because we did not have a home, and all of the files, all of the information for Special Olympics was literally in someone's car trunk, driving from one place to the next. So we grew from that first push that Norma James would have given to us. And the growth from there would have caused us to enter into a rental agreement, right, in St. James, which is where our first office was. we are still in a rental agreement up until this opportunity. And what we have found is that we were literally raising funds, soliciting anyone who would listen. Cake sales, car washes, whatever it took to raise funds for Special Olympics. And those funds were being used to pay rent. My former boss in another place said to me, sometimes there's nothing like a good recession, right? To cause you to shift thinking, to cause you to shift and adjust your trajectory. I liken this to this current pandemic situation. Not that I want the pandemic to continue at all, but I take the example from it that something really pushed us as a board to start to think strategically of what our purpose was and how we were engaged in support of Special Olympics. When we recognized that we were coming down to a crunch time where a decision had to be taken, I reached out to the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, and I said, listen, I'm certain I don't want to see Special Olympics fold up, right? Because we would have been moving back to our car trunk, right? And the opportunity, and through several conversations, the opportunity came where a space was identified, right? Admittedly, the members of my board, when they heard that we were going to South, they were not 100% on board, but I said to them, I said, listen, you spend almost an hour or 2 hours sometimes in traffic getting from Arima to Port of Spain. I'm absolutely sure it's going to be a shorter travel time to South. And as you, Chair, said, we asked, and it's interesting that you say that, because before we came in, I was chatting with Mr. Latibi George, and I said to him, we are so north-centric. That's the term I used. I was like, I said, but he's dropping on our conversation? Because we just said that, right? We are so north-centric in our thinking that we forget sometimes that past the Caroni Bridge, there's another part. Past the lighthouse, as it were. There's another underserved or unserved community that we also have a responsibility for. All right? And this move to the southern part of our country gives Special Olympics an opportunity that we didn't see before. And that opportunity is to reach those thousands of young people in the southern part of the country that before said, I'm not traveling from Mayaro or from Labre or from deep south to go to Port of Spain to participate in a sport. It didn't make sense. Actually, this is even more central for us, right, than being based in Jean-Pierre Complex in Port of Spain. The second opportunity that I saw, and I would have started mentioning that as well in the side conversation, we've never had a national games in the southern region. All of our national games in Special Olympics have been, again, north-centric. Because Special Olympics in Trinidad and Tobago now serves 11 sporting disciplines. And I always boast, it's the only sporting organization that serves 11 sporting disciplines. I hope that the technocrats listening to this, and I could list the organizations, but that's probably for another time, right? But it's the only sporting discipline that is multi-sport, and we hold a multi-sport event over 2 days. On the first day, you would have track and field, volleyball, basketball, equestrian, swimming, and I could go on in a number of locations at the same time, going on simultaneously. That requires a huge push in terms of administrative ability, as well as a huge number of volunteers with the passion to be part of that process. So I just want to speak to the current project. And this project is today we hand over what I consider as phase 1 of that project. Because it is not only about an office space. I see this as creating a center of excellence for Special Olympics. And some may think that we are going a little overboard by saying a center of excellence, but it is the view and the plan for this is indeed to make it a center of excellence, because it is based in 3 phases. Phase 1 is the administrative office, or the initial administrative office. Phase 2 will be focused on the development of a storage facility, which is just off to our right when you exit the room. Phase 3 is building out the office spaces, which includes conferencing facilities and training facilities, indoor training facility. We will be leveraging various IT platforms to be able to bring an athlete into a space where they can view online, look at online training workshops, or participate in online training workshops that will be conducted in different spaces, different jurisdictions. That is the way in which Special Olympics is now managing its training push. We've taken cognizance of the fact that Special Olympics has to shift the way in which it operates now in this global space, in the throes of a global pandemic, and find innovative ways to reach our athletes. In the pandemic, we are also producing videos for athletes to continue their training, right? And we're really looking forward to bringing the athletes back to the field of play. So phase 1 is the cutting of the ribbon today, but it doesn't stop there. We have to build out a space that would be able to take all of the lovely equipment that Cynthia would have spoken to, right? We have gymnastics equipment in terms of a full floor for gymnastics, high beam, double high beam, single high beam, double mini tramp. We have a number of pieces of equipment that has to be stored properly, otherwise it's going to be laid to waste. Phase 4 is building out that training space, all right? And we absolutely believe that we have an opportunity. What we do need, however, is additional support. And I'm hoping that through this medium, through persons out there who will hear what we're doing, we have the support from corporate entities and for philanthropic individuals who are willing to donate and to help us. Because it's going to cost. It's going to cost for us to fully build out the various spaces and to make it available within a short period of time. So those are the phases that we're looking towards in terms of this project. We are totally stuck in. We hope that we could work with the sport company and the Ministry of Sport to further develop an approach to engaging and to getting the level of support required. Special Olympics, in closing, is looking forward to the next level, and the next level is getting back to the field of play. Our next project is taking a team of athletes to the World Games in Kazan, Russia, which I have hopefully the pleasure and opportunity to lead that team, and that's in January of next year. So that's the next thing that we are now focused on, and we're building towards that engagement. We are encouraged by our national team that's now about to strive for Olympic glory. We are encouraged by the fact that we have a team out there representing us. In like fashion, we hope to represent this country in Kazan, Russia in January in the sport of floor ball. It's a new sport for Special Olympics, right? We are in training with the kind permission of the Ministry of Health in terms of getting the waiver done for us. So we are in training, and we have a team of approximately 15 persons that will journey to Russia and represent this country. The next item on the agenda for us is getting back to National Games. So we are planning already for National Games 2022, where we hope to see our 1,000 athletes on the field of play in South Trinidad, because we intend to bring the national games to South Trinidad. Manny Ramjan Stadium will be the center for those games. Of course, we will host here track and field, football. There's a sport called bocce that we can also play in this stadium and use the facilities in the environs. So, in closing, Special Olympics is overjoyed by today's ribbon cutting ceremony. It is phase one of a three-phase process. We are overjoyed by the contribution of the Ministry of Sport and Community Development to us. We are overjoyed by the contribution of the Digital Foundation by partnering with us, because we are not a sponsor. We're not a sponsor to us. They are our partner in this process. We are also overjoyed by the contribution of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, who will provide the labor for the construction work that has to be done in this space. We are looking for the additional support in terms of the completion of the project, but we feel that this is the first step towards the refinement of this center of excellence that we intend to build in Manny Ramjan Stadium for persons with intellectual disability to benefit from, to learn from, and to grow as well. I thank you for the courtesy of your attention.